When this episode of Retro Game Hall is over, you have my permission to die.
Yeah, motherfucker!
What's up, guys, and welcome back to the best goddamn show on the internet. I mean,
What, you didn't know?
I mean, is there any other way to describe this show? I mean, it's like,
no.
If you said anything else, you would be like doing a disservice to the amount of retro awesomeness that we're gonna lay on the internet.
If you said anything else, you'd be a fucking liar.
I like the way you think, man.
What? I'm just calling it like it is.
He is.
Best fucking retro show on the internet, period.
It might even be the best show, period. Like, you don't need TV, you don't need Hulu, you don't need Netflix, you don't need anything. You just Retro Game Hall, Retro Game Lounge.
I mean, maybe we're not hitting one demographic. You know what? I'll go topless next episode. Then we got it all covered.
Oh, then we're set.
Yeah.
You in a thumbnail with like little NES buttons on your nipples or something like that.
Brings all the boys to the yard.
It does. So as you probably saw in the title, and as you can probably tell by my shirt here, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Retro Game Hall Bomberman Special. This is so overdue that it's just absolutely unbelievable. Anyone who has ever watched my shows, our shows, knows I love Bomberman. He loves Bomberman. We love Bomberman. I mean, that's probably my favorite multiplayer game ever. I mean, to play with my friends. It's definitely my favorite party game.
Oh, yeah.
Mario Party, awesome. Bomberman, the original party game. Period.
Yeah.
So that's just... my shirt says it all, guys. I am the world's biggest Bomber fan. I mean, I'm a total Bomberman nerd.
You're not fucking ready.
No.
For the amount of just Bomberman shit we got right here.
BomberMANIA.
Bombermania.
That's what we should call this episode. BomberMANIA.
You know what?
Done.
There's so much Bomberman here. I feel like... Did you write a manifesto?
Yes. We're gonna blow up something.
Something.
But not in Texas, because you're gonna get shot if you do that.
But you know what we're gonna blow right now? Your motherfucking mind!
Yes.
You don't... I almost showed you. But I can't. I gotta...
You know what? This episode... Dude, you know what? This is fucking dangerous. We could blow up the internet or something. Holy shit. Like, if too many people watch this, something could explode. Like, somebody could be like, oh yeah, a new retro game. Boom! And the fucking computer blows up.
Shit!
Oh, dude, I would feel terrible if that happened.
I would too.
Actually, you know what? I wouldn't. Because if all that had to happen was one person's computer had to explode for us to realize that we had that kind of power, that's acceptable losses, in my opinion.
What the fuck?
So, what are we going to be covering today? Alright, guys. You've normally seen we have a little Bomberman segment of Retro Game Hall where we cover, you know, like one or two Bomberman pickups throughout the course of the month. But guys, no bullshit. We've got enough Bomber awesomeness on the table in front of you. Games and accessories to fill an entire Bomberman episode. Plus, there's more.
Oh, there is more.
At the end of the episode, guys, we're going to take you off the couch here. Just stay tuned. Just stay with me here. And we're going to show you a new addition to the Retro Game Lounge that's over there. I know you can't see it, but it's over that way. Where... basically, we're just gonna call it like the shrine to Bomberman.
It's some sick shit.
I mean, it really is. Like, I mean, I don't collect all this stuff, you know, not for nothing here, dollars to donuts, but I want to be able to display my Bomberman collection. He's my favorite character, obviously. I mean, guys, there is no bigger Bomber nerd in the fucking world than me, than this guy right here. I've loved Bomberman forever. So, stay tuned. We're gonna show that at the end of the video, man. We're gonna take you off the couch here, you know, show you some new shit, and it's gonna be excellent.
Fucking stay tuned.
I'm positive about that.
That was not a request.
No.
No, this is actually a public service announcement. You need to see what's at the end of the video.
Stay tuned or some puppies and kittens will die. So, Chuck, I'm about ready to jump right into the games, man. What about you?
Let's dive in.
I think let's do it. Just no nose holder or anything. There's no stinkers on this table, man. This is just... there's gonna be no pieces of shit at all in this game selection. We're gonna go through every one of these. Is gonna be 24 karat gold.
Everyone's good.
Yep.
That's a solid gold turd.
Buckle up, motherfucker.
Buckle up.
So first up, we've got definitely one of the later entries in the Bomberman franchise. We have Bomberman DS, which is more or less just a remake of Bomberman 1, updated graphics. It does have Wi-Fi capability on the DS, so you can play with up to 80 of your friends, which is super cool. Each of you on your own DS, and it's, you know, standard battle mode and all the other stuff. Everything, you know, that you love about classic Bomberman This one has it, and you can play with your buddies. I mean, what more do you want, right? On 2 screens, no less.
2 screens.
2 screens. So next up, we've got one that I've been after for quite a while, guys. Not really what I would call rare, not in the Bomberman scheme of things, really. And there's some really rare Bomberman games, trust me, because I unfortunately own not all of them, but a lot of them already. And they're
getting there.
Getting there. So this one, it's the only one that has ever been released for this particular platform. We have Mega Bomberman for the Sega Genesis. Why is it called Mega Bomberman? My guess is probably because it was originally released for the Mega Drive, which is what the Genesis is called in pretty much everywhere but the United States. What is cool about this? Well, as far as I know, this was the first Bomberman game that actually introduced rides, like you could ride the animals and stuff that you can do in some of the later Bomberman games. You of course have 1 to 4 players, you've got battle mode, single player puzzle mode, all the usual stuff that you like with Bomberman, updated graphics, not quite at the level of Super Bomberman, that was definitely a bit of a leap forward, but I will say this. This has one of my favorite soundtracks of any Bomberman game. You guys have probably heard me use it before in the Bomberman segment. The hook on this one is just awesome. Whoever they got to do the music at Hudson Soft just really did their homework, and it's the, you know, the typical do 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 do, you know, the classic Bomberman jingle, just updated for the 16-bit era with blast processing.
Blast processing!
So next up, we have a complete in-box entry that seems to be probably near the top of most Bomber fans, which is what I like to call my particular nerdy group of people, Bomber fans. It's probably in the top 3 of almost every Bomberman collector's favorite Bomberman games, and there's a lot to choose from. We have Bomberman 64, the first Bomberman entry into the 64-bit era of the Nintendo 64, complete in the box. And look at this minty-ass box, dude. Look at it straight as an arrow.
Ooh, my breath feels fresher from all the mint.
I'm getting minty,
like,
just being around this. So what separates this one from the rest of the franchise? Well, basically, guys, if I had to sell you Bomberman 64 in one sentence, it's Super Mario 64 with Bomberman. It literally is. You know, full use of the analog stick.
Are you sold?
It really is. I mean,
even if not
that's an amazing game.
Add to cart. Are you sold?
Mario
should
doesn't
be.
have bombs, but he does.
But he does.
Yeah. So I mean, it's, you know, a Mario 64 style adventure, you know, with a 3D world and stuff, analog sticking, but you're Bomberman. I mean, that's really what it is. Of course, you know, made by Hudson Soft and all that good and usual stuff, but no bullshit, guys. This actually is one of my favorite Bomberman games. I'm not sure if I would call it my absolute favorite, but I would say it's definitely top 5, maybe even top 3. And this is from a guy who has almost every one of them ever made. So this one, it's definitely the most unique in my opinion because it's an adventure tale. Yes, there are other adventure tales in the Bomberman universe, but this one is by far like the biggest.
Yeah,
it's like Bomberman's biggest adventure. So if you've never played this one, guys, this one's definitely on the up and up in price. If you like Bomberman even a little bit, or even just like Super Mario 64, this is a freaking excellent game. I cannot recommend this one enough.
Get it.
Everyone with an N64 should own
Get it.
So just as an FYI, guys, personally, I've never really been into collecting the imports, mainly because, well, it's kind of a pain in the ass, you know, just to have, you know, 2 different versions of the system. You know, you got the Super Nintendo, then you got like the Super Famicom and everything like that. But I'll be honest with you, what really changed my mind on that was having the Retron 5, simply because you can play the imports. You can play Famicom, you can play Super Famicom, it plays Mega Drive games, you know, so you really don't have to go out of your way. And the fact of the matter is, guys, Bomberman is infinitely larger in Japan than he is anywhere else in the world. I mean, he's not, I wouldn't call him on the level of Mickey Mouse. He's probably closer to Bugs Bunny as far as popularity. But I mean, everyone there knows who he is. There's been television shows, movies, you know, just all kinds of stuff. And there's a lot of really great Bomberman games that were released in Japan that weren't released in the States. Primarily here in the United States for Super Nintendo, we got Super Bomberman 1 and 2. Well, in Japan, there's 3, 4, and 5. So, I mean, it's, yeah, I mean, there's alternate versions of games. We did get the majority of them, to be fair, but there's still a handful of extras that are out there, particularly the Super Bomberman series, that I'd really like to have, because those just got better with each game. So, next up, we actually have a trio of Super Famicom games.
Oh, shit.
All Bomberman. So, like I had mentioned before, US, we got Bomberman 1 and 2 for the Super Bomberman series. Well, they got 3, 4, and 5, so I was lucky enough to pick up Bomberman 4. I will be getting 3 and 5. I'm just trying to, you know, find myself a good deal on it. Never played these before, but from what I understand, they just keep adding more and more awesome features with each of the Super Bomberman games. And Super Bomberman 2, I can't call that. God, it's so hard for me to call a favorite Bomberman game. It really is. It's like asking a parent to pick their favorite child. I mean, I don't know if I can do it, but it's.
But you know, you all secretly have your favorite child.
Probably.
You know, fuck little Timmy.
Probably.
Fuck little Timmy. He's a little bitch.
I would say it's for sure in my top 3, maybe even my number 2.
Okay.
So I mean, it's such a great game, especially just having co-op and everything. So guys, the Super Famicom Bomberman games are very cheap. Actually, a lot cheaper than the US releases. So if you've got a Retron 5 or a Super Famicom and you love this stuff like I do, man, go ahead and grab them before they get out of control on the price. So next up, we got one that's no part of this series was released in the US. It's definitely a very Asian game. I guess they just didn't figure there was much of a market for it. We have Bomberman B Damon, I think is how it's pronounced, D-A-M-A-N. This is definitely a very different Bomberman game in the sense that it's not the traditional kind of map layout, you know, blow up your friends type of thing. It's almost more like a strategy type of game in the way you've got kind of bombs going across the screen. It's almost like bowling. Like you have to throw your bomb out there and time it so that it sets off all the other bombs sequentially, basically. So almost kind of like a combination between like memory and bowling sort of thing, which is just...
And a little bit of puzzle.
Yeah, a little bit of puzzle. You know, but it's definitely interesting. I love little games like that. So I'm really anxious actually to throw this one in the Retron 5 and check it out. You know, just anything Bomberman, dude, I'm in. And last up for the Super Famicom, we have Super Bomberman Panic. Very similar from what I understand to the Virtual Boy, which would be Panic Bomber, the one Bomberman game that I have, which is basically Bomberman Tetris, if I had to call it something. You know, the standard Tetris style stuff, you know, where you match things up and boom, 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 you know, but in this one they actually explode. So I guess that's kind of awesome. I mean, it is a Bomberman game, so, dude, Tetris and Bomberman.
Yeah, so why fuck around with jewels when you got Bomberman?
You have bombs.
Fuck a jewel.
This shit explodes.
Fuck fruit. Bombs.
So let's fast forward a little bit and move up to the PlayStation era. We have Bomberman World. Definitely a very cool entry in the Bomberman series. Has all the stuff that any Bomber fan would want. You got battle mode, you got up to 5-player support, 12 different maps, you know, and PlayStation graphics. You know, so they upgraded it to the 3D stuff.
On top of that, DualShock compatible, which means not only do you get to see the carnage, you get to feel it
in your hands.
In your hands.
Yes. Every time the bomb goes off, your like controller wants to fly out.
Every time you murder somebody, you feel it. And every time they die, you know they feel it.
Next up, we have Bomberman Fantasy Race, the first kind of, I guess you could say, you know, race Bomberman game, you know, where you're doing something other than blowing people up. Although you do get to throw bombs at people in this.
Right, I mean...
wouldn't be a Bomberman game otherwise.
Right.
So basically, Bomberman Race, as you can see on the title there, you are basically riding animals. I mean, the back of this thing says it all. It says if you can't beat them, bomb them.
Yeah.
And he even narrates it. I mean, listen to this. Bomberman narrates the back of this. I'm going to read this to you guys.
Give it to me.
Hi, it's me, Bomberman. If you're looking for fun racing action, look no further than Bomberman Fantasy Race. Lightning fast competition, zany obstacle-infested tracks, and of course, bombs. It's a battle racing game like you've never seen.
I mean, how much more do you need to be sold? Bomberman himself is telling you, yo, I've been in a lot of shit. This is where you need to be. Look, these kangaroo, rabbit, yeah, chocobo-looking motherfuckers, you get to ride these. You get to ride these little...
Things.
Wacky
animal racing.
Look, you got a rhino with, like, stegosaurus shit on him.
Looks like they're riding Pokemon almost.
Wow. Actually,
it's weird.
Wow. He is correct in that. It really does look like Pokemon.
Yeah.
Alright, well, you know...
And it's a race.
Catch them all, then beat them, and then blow them up.
So next up, we actually have an entry for the PC market. It's one of only 2 that I'm aware of, disc-based PC games. We have Atomic Bomberman. And Bomberman gets an upgrade. So this one, it has all the things that you would want. It's even made for Windows 95. How about that? Remember that shit? You know, that jingle and shit. So multiplayer, probably over 56K at the time if it was Windows 95. Bomberman is almost, he's very robotic in this one. He just, I mean, it still looks like Bomberman, but it's like kind of Bomber Bot, I guess if I had to call it something. But it's got battle mode, you can play against your friends, you know, it has all the stuff that you want. And I guess in theory, you could still play it. So...
Yeah, battle bot. Yeah, that's a good description. Yeah. I mean, he's got like his little breathing apparatus and shit.
He's going nuclear this time. He doesn't want to catch bomber radiation.
I'm kind of wondering why he's got a little heart monitor, though.
He's monitoring his internal Nucleosis.
Okay, cool. I'm good with that.
So next up, we've actually got one for the Xbox 360, and it's actually a compilation disc, but unfortunately it's not a Bomberman compilation disc, not exclusively at least. So this one, why is this important? Basically, ladies and gentlemen, because of right there, right where my finger is, Bomberman Live. The first, at the time at least, next-gen entry in the Bomberman series. And little factoid for you guys here, when this was released on Xbox Live Arcade, it was instantly the #1 most downloaded Xbox Live Arcade game and held that spot for several weeks, which was awesome. So I wanted a hard copy of it because when the Xbox 360 stops being supported, my Xbox 360 hard drive dies, I won't be able to download it anymore. If I got this, I can still play it. There actually is a sequel to this called Bomberman, I think it's BomberMANIA is what it's called, which is basically just an upgraded version of this. So what does this offer? Guys, this has a lot of really cool shit. You can pimp Bomberman's costume out, give him different heads and stuff like that, different costumes that you can unlock. It has 8-player Bomberman, so you can play online with your friends through Xbox Live. You can play 4 people locally. I mean, the maps are really, really detailed. The graphics are really cool. It's the introduction of the dangerous bomb. It blows up basically in a square. So it's like taking out a city block, like Bomberman style. And the more fire up you get, the more boom you get. I mean, you get to the point where you can blow up almost half the map with one bomb. So it's freaking epic.
You can't run. No. You can't hide.
I cannot recommend this one enough, guys. Bomberman Live is it's one of the best Bomberman games of all time. It has everything that you would want in a Bomberman game, and everything is just scaled up. So next up, guys, we've got our one set of accessories here. That's right. We've got the official Super Bomberman masks that are actually made for children, I think. I think these were just promotions when Super Bomberman was coming out. So we have one for, looks like Bomberman Panic. This one is for Bomberman 4, and that one is also for Bomberman 4. So you got like 3 different Bombermans here. I got these mainly because I just thought it would be cool to kind of hang them on the wall of the Retro Game Lounge, just kind of to help celebrate, kind of as a cat piece, so to speak, like a headpiece to show off my Bomberman collection in a really cool way. I mean, look, you put it on your face and dude, you're Bomberman.
Fucking Bomberman!
I mean, like, what's more important than that?
Nothing. Nothing.
I mean, that's the best thing ever, as far as I'm concerned. So like we said in the beginning of the video, guys, we promised you something extra freaking awesome at the end of this. So I'm going to go ahead and show you. You're going to see on your screen right now, guys. This is I guess my Bomberman Shrine, my Bomberman Standee. Basically what it is, it's an old GameStop standee that I think they use for like accessories, cleaning kits, things like that. And I just found it brand new in the box. It was just a lucky eBay sale where the guy let it go for about $100. I had to put it together, obviously, and assemble it. And the more I looked at it, I wondered what I was going to do with it. I'm like, well, why don't I just display my Bomberman collection on this? Like, I can pretty much do what I've always wanted to do and have all, or at least the majority of the games on this, and just to display it kind of as one complete thing. Even though it is kind of commingling, we got games from all the different systems, TurboGrafx, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Genesis, PlayStation, Dreamcast, but that's the beauty of Bomberman. It's like, it's the only game franchise that you can get on literally every single fucking console, like, ever. Even the TurboGrafx, which is the rare one, and even the Neo Geo, actually.
Oh, shit, that's right, Neo Geo.
Yeah, there's Panic Bomber on that one, so I just really wanted a display piece to show this off, just to bring everything together and just to kind of represent my love for this franchise and this character. I really do love this, man. I cannot... And Chuck will tell you, every time we play a Bomberman game, I just get, like, giddy. It's just my thing. It really does make me happy.
See, and after seeing that, if Bomberman ever disappears, he'll be locked in his closet.
He'll be right here.
He'll be locked
I'll
in
have
his
him
closet.
Capped up in the basement, like playing harmonica or something.
Yeah.
So we want to give a very special thank you to everyone who has stopped by just to check out and share, in this, very special episode of Retro Game Hall, guys. I mean, I was so excited. I mean, on the car ride over here, how giddy was I?
He was giddy.
I mean, I was so excited just to get to do this, man. Just to kind of put together one of my favorite things in the world. Just getting to do Retro Game Hall, talk with you guys, hang out with one of my best buddies, and it's all about my favorite character ever, Bomberman. I mean, this is awesome. This has been such a pleasure to be able to do this. I'm definitely, this isn't the end for me as far as Bomberman is concerned. I'm not quite done getting everything yet. I've got the majority of them. I've got a lot of the hard-to-find ones, but there's still, there's a couple left. There's Bomberman Second Attack on N64, which is kind of expensive, Saturn Bomberman. Guys, I'm going to get those sooner or later. I'm just trying to soften the blow as far as the price is concerned on those as much as I can, because any of you guys out there know that's Saturn Bomberman is one of the most expensive Saturn games. I think the only thing more expensive than that would probably be like Panzer Dragoon. And the Second Attack on N64, which is actually a really fucking awesome game, is if you're getting it in double digits, you're extremely lucky.
Right.
It's minimum 3 digits loose. So, but I'm definitely going to get those guys. I mean, I've come this far, you know, getting these, you know, getting Bomberman 93 in the box, you know, at MagFest and everything. That was such an epic score. I gotta finish this. Like, I mean, if nothing else, just so we can shoot a video saying like, guys, this is a complete US release Bomberman collection. It might even be the only one on YouTube. You know, but if it wasn't, honestly, that'd be awesome. I would love to meet someone who's as much of a geek about this as I am. Every time that Chuck comes over, seriously, or Tommy, my buddy, the Icy One, or our buddy Tony, really anytime you get us together, Bomberman is on the fucking itinerary. Like, period. Like, it's just, it's something that we all love to play. I mean, it really is. It's just such a great franchise, such a great character, and again, the scope of this thing, as far as I'm concerned in retro collecting, is unrivaled. I mean, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, TurboGrafx, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, Dreamcast. What am I leaving out?
Saturn?
Xbox. Yeah. Xbox 360, Saturn. I know I'm forgetting one. GameCube, Wii. There isn't one on the Wii U, but, I mean, God. DS. I mean, Game Boy.
Game Boy
Advance. I mean, it's like Game Boy Color. There's just... I mean, we literally just covered a short of Atari, you know, and stuff like that.
I was going to say, is there one for the Lynx?
There might be, I don't know. Oh, Neo Geo. We forgot that one.
Oh, yeah, okay, Neo Geo.
So, we literally just covered like 95% of every console ever, short of this current generation.
Right.
I mean, Xbox 360 basically back to Nintendo. Everything in between basically had at least one Bomberman game, if not more.
Yeah.
So, guys, I would love... I challenge you guys, as the viewer, find me another franchise, any franchise, that you can say that there's at least one game on every single one of those systems, because as far as I know, it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Mega Man would probably be close, but that's not on TurboGrafx.
Nope.
There's not one on the Saturn. I mean, there's just... No, I mean, it's a huge, long-running system. Castlevania would probably be close, but again, not on the Saturn.
Nope.
You know, it's... You're all... And, dude, even if you find one that's on every other one of those systems, it's not going to have TurboGrafx. That will be the one that it doesn't have.
There you go.
So, I mean, they had the advantage since the TurboGrafx was co-produced by Hudson Soft, who owned Bomberman. So, guys, I know I'm rambling here, guys. I can talk about Bomberman for fucking ever. I really can. Ask him. Yes, I can talk about this all day, every fucking day. But sincerely, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for joining us in this kind of passion, you know, vision quest of mine. Just pursuing something that I've been wanting to do ever since I was a little kid, and somebody put Bomberman NES in my hands, and I was just, that was it for me. I was hooked. So thanks everyone so much for stopping by, and as we always say on Retro Game Hall, to all of our fellow gamers, you gotta wait for it.
Oh,
I gotta say
my bad. Okay. I got a little bit excited.
It's okay. We don't need another meltdown, but that's a story for another time. To all of our fellow gamers, retro or not,
game on.